Hello everybody. So I am coming from class. I have like a few minutes before my shift at the clinic starts. Oh, look at all those clothes in the back of my car. I apologize for that. That was a shop shoot that I did yesterday. But I have like a crazy day, so I decided why not make it crazier and film a little college Q&A. So I asked you guys, I can't talk, but like a poll on my Instagram, got a bunch of questions, so I answered a few on an IGTV, and you guys really liked it, so I just decided to keep going, and I'm gonna do some here. It's hot in here. Somebody literally said, dang girl, you're so busy today and still got time for questions? How do you do that? I don't know. Look, when I'm stressed, I don't like really show that I'm stressed. I kind of just am like so like chill. But when I'm stressed, I'm like, you know, like I'm just gonna do everything. Like I'm just gonna do everything today. So I think that's my mood today. Good question. How do you manage your time so well? Obviously, I definitely have days where I don't. I think a lot of time people think I have it way more together than I actually do, but it's a lot of living and learning. I'm a type A person and I have to have everything planned out and mapped out, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, if I do this and this and this, then I can do this. And it's not something I can really give advice on. Like it's something, if you want to do it, you'll figure it out. That's like I feel like bad because that's a horrible answer to this question, but that really is just how it is. Follow-up question, is it hard to manage school life and social life? Yes, it is. For me, social life is a priority, but it's a different kind of priority. Like I personally do not like going out and partying. I don't like going and doing like dance things. Like that's not my thing. That's not my, like I'll go do bowling and movie nights and things like that like every once in a while. But for the most part, my social life is like hanging out with my like 5 friends, and I think a lot of it is finding that compromise of, I think people have this idea of like a social life is like going out and partying, which it can be, and like school is like sitting down and studying for exams, but you can mix the two, and you can have a social life by doing study groups and finding friends who are motivated to study and studying in the library. There's definitely a mix that people like, I think oftentimes overlook, and that's how I've personally found a balance. Do you ever feel like it's too much, like you would rather quit? If yes, how do you deal with the stress of it? I think definitely everybody has moments where they're like, why am I doing this? Like, is it even worth it? You know, like, are you kidding me? Why is life so crazy? For me, and as cheesy as it sounds, like that's the purpose of life. Like I would way rather be like stressed out and doing 10 million things than like doing nothing at all, because I feel like I'm actually like doing something like with my life. Like it's productive and I'm learning and I'm starting to make an impact and like making connections, and like for me that's like what's important. Even when I'm stressed and like dealing with a bunch of stuff, I'm like still thriving, if that makes any sense at all. It's all about how you think about things, and if you think about things like this sucks, like I have so much to do and people are putting pressure on me and all this stuff, then you're probably gonna have negative feelings about it. It's inevitable. Like you're gonna be stressed, you're gonna have a lot to do, you're gonna have all these things. So if you just kind of rework your mindset about it, like changes your entire perspective. And I just want to put this out here, like I do not have everything figured out. I am a mess behind the scenes sometimes, and like definitely am like not perfect. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, you know. I'm doing my best, but there's things I'm not great at. What do you do if you can't understand a topic, no matter how hard you try? Videos and tutor. My school has a really cool system set up where they do tutoring, like people do tutoring for free for like service hours. That has helped me a ton. I also got to the point one time last year, this is so embarrassing, I literally got to the point to where it was during COVID, I had nobody, like I knew one person in my class and we were so confused. We had a quiz and I had spent like probably 30 hours in like 6 days studying for this exam and still was confused. So I literally like went on Facebook and looked up people who like had like some ties to like my class, and like their bio were like, we're in like chemistry like Facebook groups, and then like saw that they went to my school, and I literally DM'd them on Facebook. That is so bad. But he answered and he totally was like, yeah, for sure, like I'll totally, like no worries. And he literally came and tutored us like for like 3 days. I promise you there are ways to find tutors. There's also a ton of resources on like Khan Academy and things like that that have really great thorough like step-by-step walkthroughs. It's an interesting one. It is one lie about college. The biggest lie, in my opinion, is the freshman 15. Everybody that I know has had the reverse freshman 15, and I don't know if that's a generational thing. In my experience, people don't overeat, people are under eating, and they're like stressed so they're not eating as much. That is something I would not be stressed about. The freshman 15, I don't think you should be stressed about your weight, the way your body looks anyway, but the freshman 15 is a lie, for sure. Is it hard to move away from family? Yes, it is really hard. And even if you're not like close with your family, I have a few friends who like would say they weren't super close with their family. Like something about just moving away from home is really hard, and it like might not hit you immediately. Like you kind of like this freedom phase is what I call it, where it's like you're like relishing in the freedom, but it definitely hits you at some point where you're like, you know what, like this isn't as good as like just being home. People haven't been raised like you were raised, and you're like, oh, I just wish I was with my siblings to like understand like the way I'm thinking and the way my mind is wired. And there are plenty of positives about being away from home too, but definitely it is a hard transition. It's a good question for all of you high schoolers. How did you choose what to study? This is a hard question because there's no right answer, and a lot of times I feel like you have to kind of come in and like test things out and then like change it if it like needs to be changed. And I think there's a lot of emphasis put on like choosing your major in high school, when in reality I don't think there needs to be that much pressure on it, because you can change your major as many times as you want, like, and it won't affect things for the most part. It might add on a few more like semesters, but not that crazy of a problem. I think you're gonna have to go with what feels right and what works out. And if you have no inclination to do anything at all, then you still have your GEs, and you might as well like take some introduction courses and just, you'll figure it out. I promise you, you will. Like that is the best piece of advice I can give you, is I wouldn't stress out too much about it, because no matter what, like you'll find something that you're interested in. Somebody said, are you still alive? Yes. Yes, I am. Are you a coffee/tea addict like most of us college kids? No, I am not an addict. I don't like hard coffee. I don't like really like tea either, but I'll drink like chai or some like different like coffee mixes, but I don't drink them a ton. I personally like I feel like my body feels better when I don't drink a ton of caffeine. That being said, there definitely are days where I am like chugging energy drinks, but I definitely still drink caffeine. I think most people do. You literally can't avoid it. I'm sorry, Mom, because I know you hate, like, it's inevitable. How did you finding your way about classrooms, buildings, etc.? Lots of schools have like orientation where they like kind of take you through that. You can also walk through campus. One of the like my favorite things that I did this year is I hadn't been on campus like at all, because last year was just so crazy. So I went with a few of my friends. We went at like night and the campus was empty, and we just like walked around. Like we weren't like really like touring campus. We were just like walking around, like getting comfortable with campus and like figuring out where things were. I feel like that like made a huge difference on like me being able to orient myself. Okay, here's an interesting question. Is it hard to not be influenced by others? No. And honestly, my favorite part about college is once you realize that like everybody is doing their own thing, like it's so much fun. We're on just completely different life paths. You hang out with people because you have like random little touch points to them. Like you live in the same apartment, or you're in the same class. You're connected to the people you're currently with because you have that in common. And then like everybody like after that goes and does their own thing and like moves on to bigger and greater thing. I find it's not hard to be influenced by people because I'm on just a completely different path than any of them. Okay, last question I'm gonna do. Is it better than high school? Yes, 100,000%. And people will say this so many times to you, but like truly you'll understand it once you're in college. It is so much better. And kind of touching on the point from last time, like it's just like you're not stuck with people you don't like want to be stuck with, you know, like you have the liberty and the freedom to like actually hang out with people like you want to hang out with, live with people you want to live with. Like it's so much fun, and like you just have so much freedom, but like responsibility but freedom. It's just like such an interesting mix. Hopefully that answered some of y'all's questions. I've gotten so many questions in my DMs and things like that, so I thought I might as well just do a video of like college advice. Let me know if you guys want to know some more. I am willing to give out any advice that you would like to know. Try to help the next generation of college kids along. But until then, I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.